Hi, this is Doug with IdahoMMA.com. I'm here with Jesse Brock with Combat Fitness in Boise. Jesse, again, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Now we're doing this is sort of like a catching up video. You know, the last time we had talked, you were fighting at Rage in the Cage. I think it was number 5, and basically, I want to know what you've been up to in the last year.
Okay. Well, you know, we spoke before the event, so you know, I fought obviously, and I was able to come away with a victory against a pretty tough guy at Oregon, and you know, I was glad for that. It had been about a year since I'd been in the cage, and then you know, continued to train, kept trying to find fights, and kind of build on some of the momentum that I built there. I was offered a fight in Bellator, pretty short notice against a tough opponent. This was back in New Jersey, and you know, I took it and didn't quite come out on the winning end of things. It was a tough decision. You know, there's a few moments there that I feel, you know, I could have done some things different to come out on top, and I wasn't able to. So, you know, came back and just back to the drawing board, continued to try to better my skills, you know, better myself as a fighter, and continue to try to find opportunities. Obviously, my girlfriend Sarah was pregnant at the time. You know, we found out shortly after Rage in the Cage, actually. So, you know, I have to prepare for the babies, and then
babies.
Yeah, twin girls. She was pregnant with, and
nice.
And they were born in April. So, you know, I was trying to train for a fight, trying to also prepare myself for fatherhood, and you know, still do all the things that I do to make money and support myself. You know, run the gym, coach wrestling, substitute teach. You know, I got a lot of irons in the fire, and it was, you know, I don't want to say it was stressful. It was just, you know, but at the a few times it got that way, and you know, luckily I've got a good support system. Sarah has always supported me in most of what I do, and you know, she's a good woman, and I appreciate everything she does. And so, you know, you know, the girls were born in April. They're healthy, and I went to the Ultimate Fighter tryouts. This was the co-ed one, the co-ed season with, you know, Rousey and Tate coaching now, and did the same as I did before when I went a few years ago. I made it to the first interview, so I made it past the grappling and the striking, and then they interviewed me basically to see how well I'd play on TV, and I guess not very well. You know, not too much has changed. I guess I don't have a personality that's going to move the needle too much, but so, you know, I went back home and just, you know, started taking care of the girls and being a dad, and you know, continued to try to just, you know, be a good trainer at the gym, you know, and have a quality gym that people like to come and train at, and then obviously be a wrestling coach over Mountain View, and you know, and continue to try to fight though, you know, it was tough at first when the girls were born, just, you know, finding time to train, and but you know, I was able to make it work. You know, Sarah gave me time when I needed it, and then I guess it was, I want to say in April, I did the Northwest Submission Challenge, and you know, I was able to get a couple matches in there. It was fun, actually. You know, I always try to compete when I can, just to keep my competitive edge sharp, and you know, a local grappling tournament is always a good opportunity, and I did well there. I got 3rd in my division in gi. You know, I went up to purple belt, and then in the absolute, which was the winner got a trip to Worlds, I finished 2nd, which, you know, I'd never done that well in the absolute, not in gi at least, and so I was pretty happy with that. You know, then I won my division in no gi, and then got 3rd in absolute. So, and it had like 12 matches or something. That was, you know, at the time I hadn't been training too much, so it was nice. You know, I would go out there and compete, and just, you know, like I said, it's always good to keep your competitive edge sharp, and you know, just go out there and you know, do combat with somebody else, you know, in one form or another. And then, like I said, just continue to try to train and find fights. My manager, Alfred Benson, was working real hard for me, and you know, we had a few opportunities fall through, and then, you know, we knew Rage in the Cage was coming up, and you know, it's just right in my backyard, so I was pushing pretty hard to get on that, and you know, some things fell into place, and I was able to, and I've got a pretty quality opponent coming in to try to beat me up here in my town, so I'm hoping to prevent that from happening.
Right. Well, now, Rage in the Cage, that's August 23rd at the Idaho Center in Nampa. Now, that event, you know, historically in the past, it's the best pro show around, and they're having 3 pro fights, and something like 7 or more amateur, and the amateur fights are all top notch. You guys have at least 4 fighters coming out of Combat Fitness, and maybe another one, maybe 5. So, you know, you mentioned that, you know, it's going to be nice, you know, fighting in your backyard. You know, as far as the traveling, you're going to be here with your twin daughters, you know. But
they'll probably stay home. But,
well, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be there in spirit.
But you know, it's let's talk about Raging the Cage. You know, it's what about that promotion that is different from, say, you know, other local promotions?
Well, you know, first and foremost, we're putting on pro fights. You know, like, you know, it's rare right now for, you know, an amateur show to put on a pro fight. You know, and that's mostly what we have here in Idaho is amateur shows. And you know, you get a couple here and there, but you know, Todd's showing a commitment to, you know, he doesn't do a lot of shows, but when he does, he tries to do a good job. You know, make quality matchups that people want to see, and you know, bring in out-of-state talent too. And you know, it's always refreshing. You know, it seems like, you know, a lot of these promoters want to recycle the same local fighters, and you know, the scene gets real stale when that happens. So, you know, I think he's doing it right. He's obviously a stand-up guy. He's got other business ventures, so that, you know, that kind of lends credibility to, you know, he's got other successful business ventures. So, you know, this is another one of his. You know, it lends credibility to it, and you know, I think fighters just want to be part of something that has a good reputation, and right now, Raging the Cage does. So, you know, I'm just excited. You know, I'm always excited when somebody's showing a commitment here in town to, you know, putting on good pro fights, and because there's not many opportunities, you know, especially for guys like myself that have a lot of experience. And you know, when you have 20 plus fights, it can be kind of tough to match you up, you know, unless you're fighting for a bigger show. And so, you know, so having somebody like Todd that's committed to getting guys like myself opponents and getting us fights is really nice.
Yeah. So, you know, as far as the event, it's August 23rd at the Idaho Center. You know, I can't wait for it because the card is stacked. You know, that's one of the things about with me when I get a card a month or two in advance, it seems like the card sticks together unless somebody gets hurt. Mm-hmm. But with Raging the Cage, it's always been consistent, like you said. I can't wait. You got any shout-outs you want to give out there to anybody?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, my manager, Alfred Benson, you know, he's been busting his butt behind the scenes to get me an opponent. You know, I obviously, you know, negotiate my fight purse as high as he can. That's always a plus. And, you know, obviously my team here at Combat Fitness, all my training partners, you know, I'm going to be relying pretty heavy on our other trainers here because, you know, normally that's one of my duties is helping prepare our fighters. But, you know, with myself fighting, I got to be a little selfish and prepare myself a little more than I would normally. And you know, obviously Sarah at home giving me time to train and taking care of the girls, and you know, I appreciate that a lot. And you know, I owe her a lot of time when this fight's over. You know, just, you know, coming home a little earlier and, you know, paying a little more attention to what she needs, and, you know, trying to make her life easier. All my sponsors, you know, my coaches, Ross Jensen with E2 Elite Training and Performance. He's putting in a lot of work with me. When the girls were born, he was, you know, still making sure I was able to get my strength and conditioning in. He'd come in at different hours, you know, just depending on my schedule of that day, and I appreciate that a lot. And AMRAP Nutrition, you know, they always provide good product for me, you know, and running around trying to do a bunch of stuff, and, you know, I still got to get my nutrition in for my lift. And Grip mouth guards, gave me a free mouth guard last year. I'm still using it. It still works awesome. You know, I love it. And let's see who else. Prehab Health and Performance. My chiropractor at Meridian. He does a lot of soft tissue therapy for me in addition to regular adjustments, and it keeps my body functioning pretty well. You know, I need it because I don't get a lot of sleep sometimes, and so, you know, I need every little bit of every little edge I can physically. I need it. So I think that's about it. You know, just all my sponsors, all my trainers, my manager, you know, friends and family. I appreciate it all.
Well, Jesse, I thank you very much, and can't wait for the fight, and wish you the best of luck. And we'll see you at the weigh-ins on the 22nd at Big Al's. Mm-hmm. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Thank you.